Hey there and welcome to Scandal Steep. Dennis Edwards, the legendary frontman of The Temptations, was known for his powerful voice and electrifying stage presence. His career was filled with success, but his personal life was often tumultuous and his final days were surrounded by controversy. Now, as Chicago police investigate allegations involving his wife, Brenda Edwards, many are left questioning whether the singer's death was purely due to natural causes or if there was something more sinister at play. Edwards, whose voice helped define The Temptations' transition into psychedelic soul, was a force in the music industry. He gave us classics like Papa Was a Rollin' Stone and Cloud 9, proving to be a defining figure in the group's evolving sound. However, behind the fame and the music, he faced personal battles that escalated in his later years. By 2010, Dennis Edwards' health had begun to deteriorate significantly due to meningitis. While the public was aware of his condition, what remained hidden were the alarming accusations that surfaced regarding his wife's treatment of him. Reports began circulating that instead of caring for her ailing husband, Brenda Edwards was allegedly abusing him. These whispers turned into serious claims when an investigator from Adult Protective Services became involved. In January 2018, just weeks before his passing, a protective order was filed against Brenda. The allegations were shocking. Brenda was accused of attempting to suffocate her bedridden husband by pressing his face into a mattress. Additionally, she was reported to have taken away his hearing aids, leaving him unable to communicate or advocate for himself. Due to these concerns, authorities ordered Brenda to stay away from Dennis, a directive that was enforced just days before his death. Dennis Edwards passed away on February 1, 2018, in a Chicago hospital, with the official cause of death listed as complications from meningitis. However, given the circumstances leading up to his passing, many questioned whether there was more to the story. The protective order against Brenda was immediately dropped following his death, and the scheduled hearing regarding the allegations was cancelled. This abrupt end to legal proceedings led to speculation: was it merely a coincidence, or was there an attempt to cover up a deeper truth? Brenda Edwards has consistently denied the accusations against her, calling them false and defamatory. In a public statement, she maintained her innocence, stating, "I loved my husband, and I would never do anything to harm him." She argued that the allegations were baseless and vowed to clear her name. Despite her denials, the Chicago Police Department has continued to investigate the case, though no charges have been filed to date. Dennis Edwards was not just a singer, he was a pioneer in soul music. His contributions to The Temptations were immense, helping to shape their new sound during a time of transition. His tenure with the group saw some of their most iconic hits, including Ball of Confusion and I Can't Get Next to You. Though he left the group at different points in his career, he always returned, cementing his place in music history. Before joining The Temptations, Edwards was a member of the Motown group The Contours, frequently opening for the legendary act he would later lead. When David Ruffin, The Temptations' former frontman, became difficult to work with due to his growing ego and demands, the group turned to Dennis Edwards as his replacement. The transition was seamless. His gritty, passionate voice suited their evolving sound perfectly. Beyond his work with The Temptations, Edwards also had a successful solo career. His 1984 hit Don't Look Any Further, a duet with Siedah Garrett, became an R&B classic, earning widespread acclaim. The song was later sampled by major hip-hop artists, proving the lasting influence of his music. He continued performing well into his later years, leading a spin-off group called The Temptations Revue featuring Dennis Edwards. Despite his musical success, his personal life was filled with hardships. His health declined rapidly in the years leading up to his death, forcing him to take a step back from performing. Brenda and Dennis had moved to Chicago in an effort to get better medical care. But instead of finding peace, he found himself at the center of a legal and emotional storm. The allegations against Brenda came directly from Illinois healthcare officials who, after conducting their investigation, filed an emergency protective order on Dennis's behalf. The accusations painted a disturbing picture of mistreatment, raising concerns about the true circumstances of his final days. Those who knew Dennis personally expressed sadness and confusion over the situation, unable to believe that the woman he had spent nearly 2 decades with could be capable of such acts. Otis Williams, the last surviving original member of The Temptations, shared his condolences on social media, writing, "Very sad to learn of the passing of our brother Dennis Edwards. He is now at peace, and our prayers are with his family." The sentiments were echoed by Berry Gordy, the founder of Motown Records, who described Edwards as the perfect artist to join the Temptations at a pivotal moment in their career. While the investigation into his death remains open, many questions still linger. If the allegations against Brenda are true, then it represents a tragic end to the life of one of soul music's greatest voices. If they are false, then the pain of his final days has been compounded by unfounded accusations. What remains undeniable is Dennis Edwards' legacy. His voice, his music, and his influence will continue to be felt for generations to come.